so much for listening to the Humming Podcast with your boy. Hey, we got so many sweet things we're going to talk about today. And first and foremost, we want to shout out to all the beautiful podcast makers out there. Keep doing your thing. We love to hear podcasters having and enjoying a great time, having a great time and enjoying the good times that we share as podcasters. And I just want to come straight from the heart and say congratulations to starting your podcast, being a podcast producer, a podcast hoster, and continuing the good work and believing in a message, believing in your purpose, and continuing to push forward towards that purpose. Listen, it was really hard for me to start my podcast back in 2018, and I started it walking down the street one day. I said, forget it, I'm just going to start this podcast and I'm not going to look back. So that's where it's been growing ever since from that point on. And I haven't stopped since. I did take a little pause, but I didn't stop. I'm not done. I'm still going, even till right now. Still going, getting better with time. Listen, what is the makings of strength? You know, strength is getting better, getting stronger over time, and not giving up. When you continue and be consistent with something, you're gonna gain strength in that. There is a word in that. So capture it. Don't let that pass you by. One thing I want to say is I know some awesome podcasters that are undercover in my repertoire. I'm not going to gatekeep them. This podcast is a moment for me to share some sweet podcasts that I love myself. And I'm going to put them in the bio of this podcast. So stay tuned, focus on the work, look at the description when you finish or while you're listening so that you can see what this podcast is about. Okay. So I want to start this podcast off by letting you know how I enjoyed this day. So, well, how I enjoy a typical day. Typically, I wake up, you know, about about 6 in the morning, and maybe even 5 o'clock. First things I do is sit upright in my bed and I thank the Lord for the day that He's given me. I'm not the best at not looking at my phone like almost immediately because I want to check the time, or that most times I'm being woke up by alarm, so I need to cut it off. And so that phone does distract me a little bit sometimes. But when I get up, I say, I thank the Lord. And oftentimes I'll go and maybe make a small coffee, use the restroom, take my dog out, one of those three things. And that is because I'm in a flow state of my morning. And then once I finish doing one of those things, or maybe all of those things, I'll sit in and maybe do a little devotional time, devoting some special time to scripture or to a message that I've wanted to listen to or that I've come across, or maybe a specific section in the Bible on a YouTube video is correlating. So maybe I want to get more knowledge from a different perspective about a topic. And so I will listen to that. And that's how I start, by getting devotional time. Then I'll dedicate some time to maybe breaking down books or looking at some special things that come from some of my favorite authors, looking at maybe some comic strips, or maybe looking on some maybe anime on some platforms, or maybe checking out a movie so that I can see that creatives create. You don't not create. Creatives create, and they continue to create. And little do you know is, if you don't create and if you don't do and leave your mark, somebody else is leaving theirs and doing their work. So either you're not going to have anything and they're going to have plenty, or you're going to get out and do some and you're going to have some too. Regardless of what people say in the future, you left your mark on this planet. You left a a, a footprint in space, and people can come back and track, and maybe one day they'll see, wow, look at all of these people, and you'll be a part of that group. Look at all of these podcasters. Look at all of these TikTokers, TikTok dancers. Look at all of these politicians. Look at all of these scientists. Look at all of these doctors. Look at all of these therapists. Look at all of these educators. Look at all of these amazing human beings being a part of something bigger than themselves. Hopefully, for you, I hope you're doing it for a bigger reason than just to bring yourself income in. I hope you're doing it because it's something that you love and something you enjoy, something you could do without a dollar in your pocket. I hope that is the type of passion you find, because when you find a passion like that, and they pay you too, I'm pretty sure, because I know by experience, that you will feel the love of God in your life, because only He can do such a work, and only He can bring such a good thing like that. Another thing, when I wrap up about like doing some of that Bible study and some of my study on my personal things so that I can get a deeper understanding about my books, I'll hit the gym like I did today. I hit the gym. I was there for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I am back in the swing of going to the gym, but I had been out of it for quite a while. You see, I was completely frustrated with the gym. So I built my own outdoor gym. And then once I built my outdoor gym, it got really cold outside. And so I was frustrated with going to the gym. Plus, I had an outdoor gym, which was freezing out and raining out. And so working out was not a option like that no more, because I was not making the necessary time. I needed to sleep. I needed to rest and do the work. If I wasn't doing those things, then I wasn't doing what I needed to do, or I was going to be exhausted. I can't be exhausted. Exhaustion has bit me in the butt, and I'm not going there again. But listen. What I also want to talk about is a perspective I seen today. It was tough. So grab a pen and paper, please. I'm just kidding. It was really tough though. So I was listening to the Donald Trump and the Ukrainian president speak, along with the guests around them and the other people. And I started to get a better understanding of what was going on. And I was admired. I admired our president, how he understood his assignment, his role, and stood firm on it. I don't know the Ukrainian president's ideals and policies, so I cannot vouch for his misunderstanding and lack thereof. But I was proud of our president for backing our country the way that he did, because it made us seem, it placed us in the position we knew we were in, even when he tried to dethrone us in certain ways. And I was happy to see that, because listen, when you have something that other people try to take away from you, it's always good to show them that you are here for a reason, and not only are you there, but there are others there backing you up. Now, this can go a lot of ways. You guys know that type of statement goes a lot of ways. So, I mean, from the workforce to the to real life, those types of things are what crime and documentaries these days are made on. He said, she said, he did, she did, all this hearsay, all that. That's what this society is made on. People love a good documentary these days. People love reality TV these days. People love television shows and movies that talk about the drama from cheating and murder and stalking and detectives and all these things. People love it, and it's nothing wrong with it. But the society is dying because of those behaviors. People think those things are real, and it's not real life. That's just stuff that happens on TV. People write about this, and that's okay. But don't think this is what's continuously happening over and over in real life. It happens sometimes, but every day is not a big murder mystery life. Sometimes people just want to enjoy their life, their time in this life, but they can't because they just can't. You know, it get hard. They just can't enjoy their life, and that's a problem. Okay, I'm looking at the funny video. The girl got scared. Another thing I want you guys to know is I've been working on since I've been. I'm sorry, y'all. This my Beats headphones have this microphone on them, and it's interfering with my actual mic. So I have two mics at the moment, just going for no reason, and it upsets me. I'm like, why do I need two mics? But I think that's just because it is a mic on those headphones, and they refuse to quit. I don't know why. They don't. They will not let me be great right now. Another thing, guys, is on top of the Trump stuff, I've been doing work based on Langston, or not Langston. Well, yes, Langston, but also Richard Wright. And I did a big study in Richard Wright's progression and how he came about with his work. But it's always a blessing to see how together they was. He was a part of communities. That's how his work got out there. And me, I'm not a part of many communities. I know about communities in a way, but I'm not a part of many of them. Back in the day, people had community in the cities. They were at play. They were working, dude. They had that. Made sure everybody knew. But right now, I could not. It's only a handful. I've met some awesome people in this city that I stay in, and I'm the only author they know that's local, and it doesn't make sense. I'm so confused by this. Like, y'all, many times in my day, I want to be like Gary Vee. I talked about it in the previous who Gary Vee was in a previous video or podcast. But I just want to be, I want to let it all out, dude. You know, I'm reserved. I try not to use crazy language because I know I'm better than that. I could build my vocabulary, but it hasn't happened. I don't have a huge vocabulary, so it makes it seem like I don't know what I want to say because I hold a lot of things that I could say back. And I'm not going to go that route because I serve a good God and He's going to bring the truth out of me. And I don't have to use words that I don't agree with spreading out of my mouth. I know some people do it, but I'm not going to use foul language when I could say something so much more well rounded. I don't know. I just said that. I could put it into a more complete sentence if I just focus on what I want to say. That's how I feel about using so much crazy language. And, you know, I'm a book writer. I'm going to keep writing. This is the Humming Podcast. So I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm one guy. I'm a human. I'm not here to be perfect, but I am here to show you that I'm working. And just like other people said, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Like, I'm not married today. And I don't know where my wife is right now, but I know I've met some sweet women in my life, and they've looked at me with gazing eyes when I was not ready for a wife. And if I was ready for a wife, they were not ready to be a wife because 9 times out of 10, I was getting looked at and treated like a piece of meat. And first and foremost, if we're going to play that game, y'all know the movie Two can play it. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to find a closer, I'm here to find my partner who's going to help me grow closer to the Lord in my spirit, not in my flesh, not because I say, oh Lord, I love you so much, blah, 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 blah. No, because I know Him and trust Him as the only way to my salvation, not any other thing. I got to trust God as the only source to my salvation. And I will not be on His depart from me. I never knew you list. I'm going to know Him. And I cannot allow my partner in my life to be the reason why I missed out on knowing Him. Wow. I'm sorry I'm preaching to you guys. It's just the Spirit is working. Like I told you guys, my next book is coming out about evangelism. Like I cannot stress to you guys enough how special this is. This is my calling in life. Guys, if only you guys knew that when I put pen to paper, when I put BTA on that PTP, when I put BTA to that PTP, you best believe that boy Vasky gonna get that message across and you gonna feel me. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. You gonna feel me. Promise you. Because listen, I'm not a joke, and everything I write, I can speak it too. But I gotta write it first because that's the gift. That's the gift of being set in stone. When I was a little kid, I knew it was something special about something that's set in stone. You know what that means? That means nobody can take it away from you. That's what it means. I mean, if you write it on the right piece of paper with the right pen and you stash it away in the right place, many, 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 many years from now, even if you are an old man, gone away, anything, somebody could find that work or paper that you left behind and remember you. And it may help them. You know what I mean? It may help them. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's my purpose. That's my calling. I'm going to share that with you guys here soon in my newest book. You know, I got a lot of favorite writers. And, you know, I got some friends who are authors. You know what I mean by that? But you maybe don't. So I'm going to explain it. Some authors' work touched me so specially that I deeply feel thankful that they produced the work, and I deeply feel a sense of them releasing their gift, and I'm thankful for it. I know when I read professional books, it's read other times by other people, but it took a lot for that book to come to me. I don't just buy every single book that I see. And so I want my book to be special like that for someone someday. And with you guys, I know it will be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more messages, just a little bit, and I gotta go to bed because I work tonight. But this is what I want to say. I'm a psychology student. I got a degree in psychology, and sometimes I think, like, why did I go to college, man? I'm not even using this degree right. Other people use it so much better than me. That's what I think about, and I'm really mean to myself sometimes. Like, really, really mean to myself, and I don't know why. I promise you, I don't know why. I get I get really mean to myself, and I treat myself as if I'm I'm not kind of like worthy of others listening, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. It's been because like I'm so I grew up really loud and things like that, and so I heard a lot of people's feelings growing up, and I don't like to be that type of person. It just seemed like people always try to dominate you, dude. Like, why do people try to dominate other people as if it's always gonna be like they can always beat you up or something? Like, no, you cannot dominate me. Like, and I had a childhood of those types of people trying to dominate. And I'm like, no, in the real world, nobody is dominating me. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna say, I was talking to a guy the other day, he was telling me how he met a guy and knew a guy who said he could kill somebody. And he was only a kid, maybe 13 years old, 14 years old, but the guy said he knew that that kid was serious. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not finna kill nobody. I'm not finna do none of that. But at the end of the day, you cannot dominate me. I'm not finna let somebody just run over me and try to break my spirit. That's not how life's supposed to be, and people should not treat other people like that. I'm gonna tell you that like for a fact. You should not treat people like you want to try to dominate them, control them, and trick them. That's not it. No, sir. You was wrong. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. Don't ever. You hear me? Don't ever do that again. Yeah. Say something. Yeah. Leave people alone. For real. But yeah, all I gotta say is we got work coming, and I'm gonna continue to motivate y'all. This the Humming Podcast. You know how your boy do. We gonna keep it coming. I'm gonna get these podcasts together. I'm working on them, and I'm pushing them out with for you guys so y'all can see that the work is here. I'm doing more. I'm working hard. I'm consistently thinking about you guys, and I'm gonna continue to be working.